Okay, so this is how your assignment looks like. Okay, do you want me to enlarge the? Okay, I'm not I haven't um upload the assignment in e-learning platform, since I'm in my final stage of uh, uh, making the dataset ready, because this particular assignment will require your team to choose one types of data or one set of data from the available dataset given to you. Okay, so there will be various types of what we call data readily for you. Okay, so for example, advertising budget, car price data analysis, concrete data, all sorts of example you can have in the folder. Later on, I will share with you in the e-learning platform so that you can choose, okay, what kind of data that you will be using, you and your friend will be using for the assignment too. Okay, if let's say I would show you one example of the data, for example, the advertising data. Okay, so this is the advertising data. So the advertising data will give you the impression and the budget. I'm not going to tell you which one is X, which one is Y. You have to decide which one is your X and which one is your Y. So you have to think, you have to discuss with your friend in order to decide whether or not this particular example will be relevant to you. And of course, class, there will be a variety of data set. Some of the data set will be a lot of data inside. Some of them are very limited. For example, advertising data, only less than 30 data available in your data set. What about the car price? For example, car price, I think there will be a lot of data inside. Almost 120 data or observation inside the analysis or the data set. So different data will got different number of N. So in your case, class, because you have 180 plus students, means that there will be 90 plus groups. Okay, there will be 90 plus assignment that will be submitted to us. So there will be a few teams that will be choosing the same data set. And in order to make sure that different team, even though you are choosing the same data set, will have different data. Okay, so there will be what we call, you have to do some data, what we call, you have to generate additional data for each of the data set chosen. And when you generate using your Excel, definitely there will be different new values for your data set. That is where we can have a different team. Even though you are choosing the same data set, you will have definitely different data set after you generate additional data value for your assignment too. Okay, class, if you get confused with my explanation, please ask me directly, because this what we call assignment, I will just explain in this session only. Okay, and I will record this and I will share with you in the e-learning platform. So remember, there will be few teams that will be choosing the same data set. So I will make some limits. For one data set, there will be maybe 4 to 5 team can choose. There will be no more than 5 or 4 team that can use the same data set, just to make everybody using the whole data set given to you. Okay, that will be in terms of data set. Now, once you have got your data set, okay, what will be the instruction? Okay, remember the assignment 2 will carry about 25% of your carry mark. Okay, and what you need to do, okay, just to remind you again, that the course outcome for this assignment 2 is reflecting the CO3, the last course outcome that need to be achieved in your course. That will be to apply hypothesis testing and simple linear regression model to solve engineering or related problem. Okay, so you have to choose 2 members in your group. Okay, choose a data set from the prepared bank data for this assignment. So as I mentioned, there will be limited a number of team that can use the data set. Identify the dependent and independent variables from the chosen data set. So you have to choose which one is X, which one is Y. Wrongly chosen Y and X will cause everything wrong in your analysis. So if you have any question, come and see me, or you can the easiest way will be come and see me and discuss about your data set that you have chosen. Okay, number 4, this is the most important step that everyone need to understand. Okay, the most important step that everyone need to understand. Since there will be another group, okay, using the same data set, so I have to make sure that the data set that being used by each team will be unique. Okay, so in order to make sure additional data is added to your data set, so you have to generate or simulate another 15 observation. Class, remember, generate another 15 observation only. Not more. 15 only. Okay, so the way you have to generate is using this particular example. Okay, how? Let's say I have my data. Okay, let's say my original data is somewhere over here. Okay, my original data is somewhere over here. Let me use my draw. Okay, this is my original data from observation 1, let's say until observation 100, for example. Okay, my original data only contain 100 observation. Or my data could only has 27 observation, depending on the chosen data set. It could be varied. Okay, what you need to do is add additional 15 observation only. Not more, not less. Must be 15. So how to add this 15? Okay, first you need to find the average and standard deviation value for each X and Y. Find the average value, standard deviation value for X and Y. How? Let's say I choose my original data just now. Okay. Okay, let's say I have this data. Okay, class. How many N here, class? How many N here, class? Class, how many N here?
8.
8, yes. How many additional data I have to generate? How many? What was that?
15.
15. Right. Okay. I have to generate 15. Okay. New observation equal to 15. So what will be my total N afterward, class? Observation. Yes, correct. Thank you. So my N would be 23. Okay, so how do I generate? Yang ini please take a look carefully. My N now is 15. Let's say I just put this as my X so that the height of the row is standard, so it will be easier. Okay, so I need to find what will be my average value for, let's say this is my X and this is my Y. So I'm looking for mean or average. And then I need to find the standard deviation. Okay. First, we have to generate. Okay. In order to generate, find the mean and standard deviation. So how? Equal to type average. Average. Choose average here. Returns the average of its argument. Means that it will give you the average value. So double click. And then you have the what we call the apa tu? Apa kita panggil tu bracket, curl bracket. So identify the data only. Okay, once you have identified, close the bracket and then enter. It will be given the average value. For the standard deviation, type STD. So in this case, use the standard deviation for sample. Second one, double click. And then highlight the data, close the bracket, and then enter. So this is the standard deviation. And for Y, copy and just drag. Check whether it is referring to the correct data. Click here and then click here, and then it should highlight the Y value. Then go for the second one, highlight. It should be highlighting the original data being used to find the mean and standard deviation. Now, what you have to do next is you have to generate 15 observation. So in order to use Excel, we are going to use this norm.inverse random blah blah blah. This one will be given to you. You can refer this. Okay, so I'm going to use this particular generating instruction to generate my 15 value for my X and Y using the mean and standard deviation that we have calculated before. Okay, so please look carefully. I've got my mean and standard deviation. So I begin my generating for X first. Type equal to and then NORMs. So here you can see you have several options. Choose norm inverse. Double click. Okay. So in this case, let's look at the instruction. Norm inverse random. Okay. So in this case, okay, norm inverse type random. Okay. The probability here only type random. So double click RND. Okay. And then include the value average, comma, and then include the standard deviation. Okay. So probability, RAND, mean, highlight the D4, standard deviation, highlight the D5, reflecting the X. And then enter. Oh, another bracket is missing. What was that? Bracket, norm inverse, random. Norm inverse probability. Okay. Your type. Norm inverse random. RAND. Hold on. RAND. Oh, I've missed the bracket after RAND. Okay. Okay, RAND bracket. Okay, and then enter. Hold on. What is missing here? Oh, comma. Comma. Okay. It should has 15. Let's say class, I will have to redo again. Okay. The data should include at least have, let's say I'll double the data, because too limited data will not be okay to generate the number. Let's say I just copy and paste. Okay. And I have to renew again my calculation. Enter. And then drag until all the data included. And then drag again for Y so that the new data is included. Okay. Okay then. So we begin our random, okay, generating. Okay. Go to X equal to norm inverse. And then probability, we use random generator, RAND. And then comma, include the mean value, comma, standard deviation value. Okay. And then enter. Okay. Okay. So now you have generated one new observation for your data set. Now, let's say you need to generate, see, every time I change or I move or I do something, the number will be automatically changed. Because why? Because we are using the random generator here. So every time we do something, it will automatically be changed. Okay, so it's okay, never mind. I'll just want to add the observation data value so that it will be easy for you to check. I need to add another 15. So let's say we move at 15. Okay, so what happened now, class? You can drag to your 15. Oh, sorry. The way we drag is not correct. Okay. You can drag. Okay, let's say I just use my... Okay, now because you have to state the mean and standard deviation at the same column, so you have to add the $ symbol so that it will reflect the exact same mean and standard deviation. So then you can only drag to generate your additional 14 data. So that's how you can generate for your X. And then do the same for your Y. Okay. Norms, inverse, double click, and then choose random generator, double click, and then use, and then identify the mean, comma, the standard deviation, and then put the $ so that the figure for the mean will remain the same when you generate for the other 15 observation. Then enter. Then drag for 15 observation. Now, once you have generated your data here, okay, what you need to do to make sure your number, your generated number is not changing all the time you do your work, what you need to do is just copy them, highlight, double click, right click, copy, and then open a new sheet, and then right click, and then choose copy values only, so that you will not be having trouble in this particular value will not change every time you do your work. So far, class, do you have any question? Class? Do you have any question when you for the generating the observation, 15 observation?
Definitely.
Okay, clear. So since you have your data is no decimal point, what you can do is that you can set this to non-decimal value. Go to your um, format cell, go to number, and then no decimal point. Then click OK. Okay, so everything will exactly the same as what you have in your other data. So this is what it meant by adding additional 15 observation for your data set. So that's why when you have added your data set, another 15 observation for your data set, there would be no way your team and the other team that are using the same data set will have the same data. So that is why this particular process of generating 15 observation is very important for your assignment too. Let's continue with our instruction. Okay, once you have got your data, 15 observation, new observation has been added. Okay, so once your data is ready, determine suitable investigation to be carried out. So then perform simple linear regression and then blah blah blah. So everything inside here. So what happened? You need to do the regression analysis based on this particular what we call this will be the assignment template that you need to submit to me. Okay, so your template for your assignment 2 will include the data description, the objective, analysis result, discussion, and finally the conclusion. Okay, so your data description should include everything is being what we call explained in your template here. So if you have any problem, you can just ask me. Okay, so briefly describe the simple linear regression investigation that will be carried out using your data. So what is your data? If let's say my data is about advertising budget, means that I'm talking about the money that I have that I can spend for advertising. Okay, so means that you have to tell me in terms of your background, what will be your problem that you are trying to solve for your simple linear regression. What will be the X, what will be the Y involved in your analysis. So you have to include in your data description. So there will be 4 marks given for this particular information in your template. And for the objective, you can just follow the objective wording here to determine the relationship between what? What is your problem in your hand? To develop simple linear regression for what? To perform. So this one would be, I need to edit. I think the third one is not applicable to you. Okay, so this one need to be cancelled. But the fourth one would be the one that you need to do. Okay, the fourth one, the third one, I think I will change to hypothesis testing for the row, for the linear relation of the X and Y. And then for the analysis, you will see later, okay, what will be the analysis that will be included in your analysis. For each analysis, you have to discuss what will be the things that need to be discussed for the particular analysis that you have done. Okay, and finally conclude. Okay, you can conclude based on the given what we call points here. Okay, so everything got marks, and you can see how many marks has been given for each part of the analysis as well as the discussion. Okay, so this will be the template using your PowerPoint. Once you have finished your analysis, turn your PowerPoint into PDF. So you have to submit your poster submission using the PDF, and you have to write down your name, your team, and your name into your PDF form and submit it to me. And you have also need to submit your Excel document so that we can check that you have already used your additional 15 observation for your analysis. Okay, So that will be all about your assignment 2, the template that you will be using for your answer. And for your reference, we are going to use our rubric. Okay, the rubric will be referring to the evaluation that will be done to your PDF of your answer. So that will include the data description, means that what missing will be deducted, mark will be deducted. So make sure that you have excellent, all the requirement are included in the data description. Okay, the same goes to objective, 4 marks. So there will be 4 objective, each objective carry 1 mark. So make sure you have all the 4 objective to make sure that you have 4 marks given to you. Okay, the same go to result as well as the discussion, and finally the conclusion. And the overall mark will be 4, 4, 8, 8, 10, 12, 14, 22, 30, 38, 55 marks given to you. And that 45 marks will be converted to 25%. Okay, class? Do you have any questions so far, class, for your assignment too? I will upload the assignment to all the data, all the rubric, as well as the example for your Excel in the e-learning platform. Hopefully by some way, maybe this week, because I would like to have your assignment 1 first to be hand over to you, then only assignment 2. But since Dr. Zuki wish to for me to share with you first for assignment 2, I don't think I will be able to do that. But once I have already uploaded in the e-learning, I will let you know in the group. Okay. So is there anything else that you want to ask, class, regarding your assignment 2?